Alright, hey guys, Looks99 here, coming at you with a Raw review, another video here. Like I said, I'm doing more reviews on my channel as of late. I just want to take a step away from the gaming just for a little bit and do some WWE reviews and Impact Wrestling. And I've got out a lot of them so far, and this is going to be the Raw review for July 7th. Here we go. City was Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and the commentators were, as usual, JBL, Jared King Lawler, and Michael Cole. And we kick things off with Roman Reigns. It was nice having a change, not having the Authority kick off the show yet again. We received word that they took a vacation, so that's why they were not there this week. Roman says he's going to win at Battleground, and then he says Cena sucks to a huge pop from the hot crowd. And then out comes Kane. Reigns then calls Kane Randy Orton's bitch. And then they brawl for a little bit. Kane chokeslams a ref. Reigns spears Finlay, and then he Superman punches Kane. This was just an awesome segment. The brawl was just incredible of how, just to see the officials and the referees get beaten up is always awesome. And Roman Reigns' promo, it was short, it was sweet, and one of his stronger promos as of late. And then Roman also really showed tons of charisma during this segment. I just love of how Kane and Roman beat the crap out of the officials, and it built up towards Battleground, the fatal four-way for the championship, and the animosity between these two was definitely shown tonight. Our first match was a tag team match. Usos, the tag team champions, versus the former #1 contenders, the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Usos take control early on. Crowd is on fire tonight. They absolutely love this match. Jay hits a nice dropkick at the start. Rowan hits a huge shoulder block for 2. Harper pump handle slams into a Rowan splash for 2. That was a very cool double team maneuver. They should do that more often. Wyatt's then go over the top. Jay makes the hot tag. Jimmy comes in, a house on fire, as Gorilla Monsoon would say. Just absolutely clears house. A Samoan drop goes up top for the corkscrew. I love when he does that. It's just such a cool move, and it's very impressive to see the Usos pull that off. Then a flying Uso, and this is just where it goes to complete chaos. Harper catches a super kick and hits one of his own. And then this was an OMG moment. Harper goes for a suicide dive. It's caught by a right hand into a super kick for 2. And then Harper hits a power bomb for 2. Double super kick. Rowan grabs the foot of one of the Usos. Harper hits a discus clothesline. Massive. Just took the head off of the Uso. Harper wins, and it looks like the feud is continuing. And especially because the Usos were saying that Harper pinned the wrong Uso. So I think that's an interesting angle to take to continue the feud. We've kind of seen tons of matches between these two teams, and they put on amazing matches each time. I just feel that we need a different angle for the feud besides these two teams just facing off for, besides for the tag team championships. We have to have a incentive for the Wyatts, or the Usos. This was just a great match. It had everything to it, tons of cool spots. It was just an incredible match. And then Randy talks to Kane backstage, and Rollins comes in, and a little bit of dissension was shown with the men of the Authority. Up next was Nikki Bella versus Alicia Fox. Nikki Bella, of course, has been punished as of late because of the actions of Brie. And Nikki was just, this was terrible. It was a one arm behind the back match or whatever. This killed the crowd. It was just terrible. However, there was one positive to this, and it builds up to Stephanie versus Brie. And even Fox's gimmick is getting old, and it couldn't really save this segment, despite her messing around with I believe that was Red Bull, but it could have been beer, I'm not sure. Up next, Lana cuts a promo. I'm glad she adapted to Canada. I think that was kind of cool instead of how Russia was the supreme power. And then to my surprise, RVD comes out. I thought it was very surprising of how they're putting RVD, a seasoned veteran, against Rusev. I thought this was going to be a great match. RVD hits a huge array of kicks and then a DDT. Rusev hits a huge slam off the top rope, knees into the fallaway slam, and then mid-match, when Rusev has a rest hold on, Zeb challenges Rusev to a match at Battleground for Swagger, of course. And then RVD counters a slam into a roll-up pin. RVD hits a thrust kick off the top, rolling under. However, Rusev gets out of the way and hits the super kick into the Accolade for the victory. It was a decent match, slow in the middle, but it was fast-paced at the beginning and the end, and it was a good match. This adds a new legitimacy to Rusev's character because he just picked up a win against RVD. So I'm glad RVD is putting over new talent these days. It's nice to see these new guys get a little bit of a push from RVD. However, one plot hole I did find is, how are we supposed to believe that Swagger can pick up the victory against Rusev when RVD easily beat Swagger early on in the year, and now we're supposed to believe that Swagger can beat Rusev once Rusev beat RVD? But anyways, it was still a good match, and Hour 1 was good except for the Divas. They just really... It was a dumb match, and they couldn't really work with it, but still. So we kick off Hour 2 with Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose. This could easily be match of the night, but there was a lot of potential candidates for match of the night tonight. And Ambrose has to be one of my favorites right now. His character is just so real and believable. You'd actually think this guy is a psychotic out on the streets. And he's just so good all around. His promo work, his in-ring work, just everything about him is just so good. And of course this was a rematch of the SmackDown main event. Orton starts working on the arm right away, the injured arm. Ambrose and Orton have a nice exchange in the corner. Ambrose hits a nice dropkick against the ropes. He has a beautiful dropkick. And then Orton hits a huge clothesline. And then Ambrose just goes absolutely insane as we go into commercial break. We come back with a beautiful dropkick from Orton. Orton has one of the best dropkicks in the business, along with Axel and Ziggler. A bunch of guys have great dropkicks. And then huge DDT from Ambrose after a while. Then Ambrose hits his little comeback. It's a figure 4. Then this is where the botch came. I think Ambrose was supposed to jump off, and then Orton was supposed to hit him with the dropkick. But I'm not sure if Orton wasn't paying attention or anything. It looked like he had his back turned. Then Ambrose went for Orton's legs. Orton no-sold it and then hits a dropkick. It kind of messed up the flow of the match, but they brought it back real quick. Glad they did bring it back, because the crowd just loved this match as well as the Usos one. Let's see, where was I at? Ambrose and then Ambrose starts throwing chairs inside the ring. It fits his character perfectly. He just wants to beat the crap out of his opponent. And then Orton hits the hung up DDT from the barricade. Orton then gets rolled up by Dean a couple of times. Dean goes for the yo-yo clothesline, and then Orton hits the RKO as Dean comes back from the yo-yo clothesline. This was a fantastic match. I'm glad that they recovered from the botch, and I thought for sure Ambrose was going to win it at one point. It was a cool finish, and Orton needed the victory for some momentum into Battleground. Him and Kane are really the two weak links of that match. Reigns and Cena are really the two ones who are believable to win it right now, so you have to have Orton and Kane look strong going into that. And then Renee interviews Cena, and Reigns comes. They talk about the title match and the main event tonight, which is Cena versus Rollins. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Up next is Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio. We know of how much chemistry these two have, so we're expecting a really good matchup again. And this time Fandango is on commentary. This was good build up the Battleground Battle Royal, and Ziggler versus Fandango, and then it's also announced that whoever wins this match is going to face Sheamus on main event on, I guess, today, because I'm reviewing this a day late. Ziggler's a house on fire right away. Del Rio then uses the ring skirt and hits the enziguri on Ziggler. That was a really cool spot. Just very, very creative from Del Rio. And then Del Rio hits like an OMG moment where it's like a huge inverted suplex off the top rope. That was really cool. Ziggler just made that look like $1 million. Then Ziggler hits a huge DDT after tons of reversals. Another OMG moment is where Ziggler counters a Totoro backbreaker into a beautiful dropkick. Ziggler then hits a Famemaster, Fandango with a distraction, which was hilarious, him using JBL's hat, and the crowd loved it. And Del Rio hits a super kick and wins. This was a really good match. These two have so much chemistry. It was good build-up for storylines. Del Rio versus Sheamus in the Last Man Standing match on main event. Ziggler versus Fandango in the future, and the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royale. And then I put Fandango as weird because he was really weird on commentary with his voice and his dancing after the match. But if we want to talk about weird, Stardust and Goldust cut a promo backstage. I just love this tag team. It's so funny and so unique, and I think it fits them perfectly. And I would like to see a tag team title shot in the future. Maybe if the Wyatts pick up the victory at Battleground, we could see like a 4-way SummerSlam match to kick SummerSlam off. I think that'd burn the house down. And then Fandango and Layla do their like love couple stuff backstage while Summer watches. Just a little bit of a continuation of their feud. Jerry then thanks Montreal for all the support, because last year this is where he had his heart attack. This is just a heartwarming moment. Brett then makes his return to a huge ovation. This crowd is awesome, just cheering Brett for everything. And then out comes Sandow. Sandow tries to downgrade Hart, and Hart just completely knocks him outside of the ring. Sheamus then comes and hugs Bret Hart, and will face Sandow next. Sheamus versus Bret Hitman Sanhart. Sandow pulls out from the ring into like a hip toss. That was really cool. And my question is, why is Sheamus in the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royale? It makes the U.S. title absolutely irrelevant and pointless. If he's going to go for the Intercontinental title, it just shows that the Intercontinental title is more important than the U.S. title, and Sheamus doesn't even care about the U.S. Championship. It was just dumb. Sandow then goes for the sharpshooter. Sheamus counters. It's 16 beats of the Bowdering. Hits the bro kick. Sheamus wins. Gets momentum for tomorrow and Battleground. This was just a pointless match. At least it built the Battle Royal, although Sheamus should not be in my personal opinion. Miz has a little interview backstage where he reads a letter. This was actually a good segment for Miz. I like this Miz gimmick. It's just not really over. It seems like he got no reaction tonight and hasn't gotten a reaction since coming back. The second hour was decent. It had its ups and downs. Now on to the third hour. We start off with Miz versus Jericho. It's awesome to see Jericho back in the ring. You have to love Jericho. Miz's gimmick kind of reminds me of mixed between like Cody Rhodes' dashing gimmick and like Hollywood Rock. So that's what I was thinking during the match. Jericho hits a triangle dropkick. Jericho then goes for the lion salt, and Miz pushes him outside the ring. Miz hits a big boot. Jericho enziguri. Miz DDT. Then Jericho hits Miz in the face and wins via Walls of Jericho. This was a good match, ending kind of the mini feud, I believe. If someone taps out, that should really end the feud. But who knows, they could probably continue this to Battleground if they want, but I think they're mainly focusing on Wyatt versus Jericho, which was an awesome confrontation between Wyatt and Jericho. I've said it before, this feud has potential to be one of the best of the year for WWE. Funkadactyls versus AJ and Paige. Paige's angle with AJ is very interesting at the moment. We're just waiting for her heel turn to happen right now. Paige hits an awesome kick during the match. AJ hits very fast-paced offense. Naomi and Paige hit a double clothesline, knocking each other down. Paige turned her to Cameron for the win. This match is okay. It mainly focused on the two storylines, of which are very intriguing at the moment. The cat fight was awesome. And Paige versus AJ, like I said, is a very interesting angle right now. Up next was Cesaro versus Kofi. Cesaro and Heyman cut a promo pre-match. Cesaro should not be in this Battle Royal, in my personal opinion. I think he should have got his big-time push after WrestleMania, after having so much momentum. And I think aligning himself with Heyman kind of killed that momentum. But he's still, like, excelling like crazy. I just hope his big-time push comes sooner rather than later. These two were very physical early on. And then an oh my god moment when Cesaro hits a gut-wrench suplex on Kofi right onto the apron. Then there was a nice exchange of reversals. Cesaro hits a military press gut buster, which is pretty cool, into the double foot stomp. And then Kofi wins again with a roll-up pin. And since Cesaro is in this mid-card spot right now, we might as well enjoy his awesome matches. And this one was Kofi. It was short, but it was sweet. And Big E then comes down and beats Cesaro up. Big E has no chance to win the Battle Royal, even though he's the former champion before Bad News Barrett. Which is just sad, but Big E, he's gone on a downward spiral ever since he won the title. But Kofi and Cesaro definitely do have a shot, especially because they're giving them time with this program. And then it was an awesome Cena and Rollins confrontation backstage. Up next was El Torito versus Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is another one of my favorites right now. This character is just pure gold. And I didn't really have any notes on this match, except Bo's hilarious, especially where he ran over El Torito ringside. That was absolutely awesome. And then our main event, Cena versus Rollins. My first note was, I really, really want a new Raw commentary team. I'm sick of JBL and Cole just bickering. Cena hits a hip toss early on. Rollins beats the crap out of him. Cena hits a sidewalk slam. Huge DDT from Rollins after countering the attitude adjustment. Cena hits a sit-out powerbomb, which was impressive. Rollins hits an enziguri off the top. Cena then hits his comeback. Cena with an STF. Here comes Kane. Orton from behind. They beat down Cena. Reigns comes to make the save. Hits Superman punches all around. Rollins goes to cash in after he hits the briefcase on Reigns and Cena. Ambrose comes, and all I said for this is feud of the year. Rollins and Ambrose, I'm calling it right now, is going to be feud of the year and possibly match of the year. This was a decent match after the cash-in. And then the Fatal 4-Way guys take each other out. It was good build-up to Battleground, especially for the main event, which I think there's not much excitement to it right now, but I'm hoping they can change that. Match of the night, in my personal opinion, was the Usos versus the Wyatts. It was just an incredible match, and I'm excited to see this feud continue with a storyline to it. Overall show, this was a step down from last week, but it mainly progressed storylines and angles, so it got me excited for Battleground. It was a decent show. It had its high moments, but also had quite a few low moments. So it was a decent show. I want to know what you guys think of it. Leave a comment below, and I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow for my main event review. See ya.